Title: When the storm passed, the rain had been falling for days, but for Arav, it had been pouring for years. His life had been a chain of disappointments, dreams crushed before they could take flight, opportunities slipping through his fingers like wet sand. At one point, he stopped making plans because nothing ever worked out. But one cold evening, sitting alone in his small, dimly lit room, Arav realized something. The world wasn't going to hand him a better life. He would have to build it, brick by brick, even if his hands bled. The next morning, he woke up before the sun, not to chase a big dream, but to take a small step. He began learning new skills online, working odd jobs to save money, and reading books that challenged his way of thinking. For months, nothing seemed to change, but he kept moving. Then, one day, someone noticed his work. A small project he had posted online caught the attention of a local entrepreneur. That one project led to another, and slowly Arav began to climb out of the hole he had been stuck in. Years later, Arav stood on a stage, telling his story to a crowd of people who felt hopeless just as he once had. His voice trembled as he said, "Storms don't last forever. They test you, break you, and shape you. But they always pass. And when they do, you'll realize you were stronger than you ever imagined." The applause was thunderous, but Arav didn't hear it. All he could hear was the quiet voice inside him, whispering, "You made it." Title: The last step forward. Rayan had always been the kind of person who started but never finished. He had tried dozens of things in life: a small business, learning guitar, applying for jobs abroad. But each time, the moment things got hard, he would quit. One winter evening, sitting in his cramped apartment, he stared at the bills piling up on the table. The silence of the room felt heavy, broken only by the sound of his own shallow breathing. He thought about all the years he had wasted running from challenges. And then, for the first time, he asked himself a question: what if I didn't quit? This time, the next morning, he put on his worn-out shoes and went for a run. It wasn't much, just a single mile, but it was the first thing he had finished in a long time. The next day, he ran again, then again. It became a small, daily promise to himself, a habit that grew quietly in the background of his life. As weeks passed, something inside him shifted. When problems came up, instead of avoiding them, he started facing them one at a time. He fixed things in his home instead of ignoring them. He called people he had been avoiding for years. Slowly, his confidence returned. Months later, Rayan signed up for his first half marathon. Halfway through the race, his legs screamed in pain, his lungs burned, and his old self whispered, "It's okay to stop." But this time, he didn't. Step after step, with sweat pouring down his face and strangers cheering from the sidelines, he crossed the finish line. The medal they placed around his neck wasn't just for running 21 kilometers. It was for every time he refused to quit, for every morning he kept going when no one was watching. Years later, Rayan would tell his friends, "It's never the first step that changes your life. It's the step you take when every part of you wants to stop."